Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Sunday School with me, your host, Sarah, in the Luxton Temple. I hope you guys had a nice couple of weeks. So sad to miss you last week, but here we are, back again to figure out how we can best cultivate our own version of heaven upon earth. How we can rewrite the script of in the moment with whatever situation we are handed. All the situations that we're handed in life, relationship-wise, work-wise, abundance-wise, they're all active reflections of our inner world, of our subconscious. Now, this includes programming, which comes from the time that you were a baby, when you were first born, very much from your ancestry, your physical, three-dimensional, biological, DNA, family lines, but also your infinite timeline of past, present, future life history. So the story of your soul is played out in microcosmic form with all of the challenges and difficulties and joys and ecstasies which you experience in this current earth body. So as we talk about this idea of cultivating heaven upon earth, something that's helpful is to realize that you go through various stages in your life and in your lifetimes, and they're all like plays. So they're all like everything in the physical world is coming together to form a stage for you so that you can act through any sort of blockages, fears, negative emotion, density, limitation. These are all the things that we tend to get stuck in as humans, living a conscious experience in a world of limitation, which is the three-dimensional world of form, which is very much a gift because we have to be present in it. When we are just in conscious state, unified consciousness, we're connecting with everything, everywhere, which is also us. But when we do that, there's no need to do anything. Everything is perfect. It's like you're just in the experience of unified being with all that is. And when you reach that stage of enlightenment, there's a lot of stories in Buddhism about this, you have no motivation to do anything in a body anymore. And so, a lot of these stories talk about these enlightened masters who decided to come back because they had a wife or they had kids or they wanted to teach, they wanted to, share the essence of their knowledge with others to help them reach that state. So ultimately, all of our plays and our dramas and our experiences and our challenges that we're given, they are ultimately to help us along that path to true liberation, true liberation. Now, liberation is in fact the absence of fear, okay? Very, very, very few, not very few. It's impossible to live in an ego state and not experience fear, because the ego is about the individual, and it's always, always, always trying to defend the individual space. The individual is in fact illusion. We are all a collective, conscious, living being together, undivided, except by particle matter, okay? So we have to have an ego self in this three-dimensional body to want to survive. Therein lies the sort of trickery nature of this three-dimensional realm that we're all living in together. And so basically with that said, you can't eliminate fear from your life. You can't eliminate. But what you can do is you can confront it with courage and with love, with that other part of yourself, that higher part of yourself, that inner master. You all have an inner master. Now we're in Leo season now. We've just entered Leo season. Yay. The lion, the sun, ruled by the sun, okay? And also, so you've got warmth, and you've got this beautiful warm heart energy with Leo. And you've got creativity, you've got play, you've got inner child, and you've really got courage and boundary setting, okay? So let's all think about, as a general message, having the courage to confront our fears as ego illusions, and to bring in that beautiful solar consciousness, that eye in the sky that sees the whole play, the entirety of everything, and sees that it's just one scene in an infinite storyline that is your soul's journey, okay? So let's go ahead and start with your reading. So we're going to do the usual. So for you, for your personal journey in cultivating your own heaven on earth, returning to paradise, go ahead and pick card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. Card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. And then you can go ahead and fast forward to whatever your card is. I'm using the Mother Peace Tarot today. Okay. So, card number 1, how do you cultivate your version of heaven upon earth this week? Well, you are in luck. You have the Wheel of Fortune, okay? Now, the Wheel of Fortune is really, really, really concerned with deeply aligning with the help that you are given. Now, sometimes help is not obvious. Sometimes help can be your adversarial teacher. But when you have the Wheel of Fortune showing up upright as far as how you cultivate your heaven on earth, this indicates that there's a lot of universal energy around you, creative intelligence, even you could say guardians and guides, that are sending you ropes, okay? So we're all like flailing along sometimes in certain parts of our life, trying to like swim through the sea of chaos, and trying to make sense of everything and align with our purpose, feel love, feel joy, all of that stuff. So with the Wheel of Fortune, that indicates that you're getting like, it's almost like a vessel, you know, it's shown like a ferry boat coming into like your river of life. And it's like, hop on this ferry boat, okay? So this is basically where you're gonna be getting a lot of like help, just reaching out to you and saying, hey, here's another way. Like, you were trying to swim all by yourself, but you can actually just hop on this boat and it'll take you where you're going. Or like you're suffering and you're trying to make this one relationship work, but oh my God, here's a relationship where something is just flowing. So you want to think about a lot about flow. And I'm just picturing the water wheel over and over again, which I think is part of a ferry boat. You correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really know the mechanics of a ferry boat, but I am picturing this water wheel and flowing through the water, okay? Flowing through the water of what life gives you. But really, Wheel of Fortune, it's about knowing that the ingredients of your life are aligning you with your highest purpose. So there's also an element of trust involved. And really big one here, it's about not repeating your own patterns of suffering, okay? This is one that you can step in with that courageous Leo lion energy and set boundaries. Now, it's really important though that you connect to the love of that Leo energy when you set your boundaries. Don't set boundaries with spite or with negativity. This is going to require self-healing in order to set boundaries with love. It's very challenging to do. But when you set boundaries with love, there is a harmony, there is an equilibrium which is reached. When you set boundaries with hate or with spite or with negativity, there is a freezing, there is a discord, there is a freezing in of discord. I don't like what's going on, I'm creating a wall. And what you do is you wall yourself into your own misery and suffering. So what's really important with the Wheel of Fortune and stepping on to those new patterns, stepping onto that boat. It's a boat, you guys. I don't know, it's a boat. So stepping onto that boat, look out for that boat that is saying, come over here, like invitation. Look out for whatever that is in your life that says, come over here, like there's an easier way that's in alignment with exactly who you are right now, that supports who you are right now, that's not resisting who you are, that's not trying to punish you, it's not trying to hurt you, okay? So step on with playfulness, with a feeling of discovery, with a letting go of the old, a letting go of the old, okay? All the things that caused you suffering, that's part of your hell, and you needed to go through that. But this week, there's a new play opening up. So allow the Wheel of Fortune to carry you with care, with love, with infinite potentiality, awareness of infinite potentiality to change your play, to change your fate through the openness of love, which is what you truly are, which is what you truly are in the infinite view of things. All right, is that a good summary? Anything else I want to add? Wheel of Fortune. Take a chance. Take a chance. Okay, card number 2. Card number 2. How do you bring your heaven to earth this week? 10 of Swords showing up reversed, okay? Here's that. Okay, we get a lot of the same cards, you guys. I feel like there's a collective of going through some similar difficulties. 10 of Swords, this card in particular, it shows all these women jumping off a cliff into the ocean, and they're actually letting go of their swords, okay? Letting go of their swords. So 10 of Swords reversed is really when you have let go of your swords. And also, you know, it's with this particular card, it's about banding together and beginning a new journey. So this is also to accept your role as a leader with your friends, okay? So first of all, you've got swords are the intellect. Swords are fighting, swords are war, okay? They are necessary to get through difficult junctures in life, absolutely. But for us to create our heaven on earth, there are times when we need to let go of our swords, and we need to let go of striving. We need to let go of our intellectual goals, and we also need to let go of situations that are giving us pain but no growth, okay? Pain but no growth. That's the really important thing I'm getting about 10 of Swords reversed right now. It's where you've been in an experience where you're suffering, and sometimes we have to suffer to learn, and sometimes we have to suffer to balance things out and to balance out our karma, absolutely. But sometimes we put ourselves through needless suffering because we've gotten used to it. We have created a pain body through suffering so much that we're just used to pain. And that's how we think we feel. Oh, I'm suffering, I feel alive. And then sometimes we can go back to like, if I'm not suffering, I don't feel anything. I don't feel alive, because it's very rare that you feel like, in the human experience at this point in our evolution, that you feel ecstatic joy, okay? Like you want to just be like dancing through life. There are some people that do this, and they have attained a level of love and harmony, which is challenging to do, but it is possible. So this 10 of Swords indicates leave the pain body behind, jump into the new waters, okay? Jump into the new waters. The waters are associated with emotion, with the sea, with the mother, the mare, Star Marie, Mary, the queen of the sea. That is all the energy of Oshun, okay? Loving, feminine, goddess, womb energy. This is coming through clearly because I'm using this Mother Piece Tarot, which is very much about how the mother energy can cultivate heaven upon earth in the framework we're using. So jump into the sea of love. I know it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. But whether you're a male or whether you're a female, you all have access to this infinite energy of the womb, of the mare, which provides nourishment, okay? It's really important about the sea and the water and the heart is about imagination. Things flow through the sea. They're not as solid. I'm definitely picturing like bioluminescent jellyfish and how they're able to, like, if you watch them, it's like watching clouds, very much like underwater clouds, illuminated clouds, bioluminescent jellyfish. And this is kind of how we can reframe our reality and our potentiality. What makes us glow? What makes our heart glow while we are flowing through this dream we call reality? Okay, so step back into the dream. Step back into your own dream. It's said that, you know, to really reach enlightenment, that we wake from the collective dream, which is true. But again, in order to live and learn and evolve, we usually need to be in the dream where we're having emotions and we're having, you know, imaginations of what our life could be like. There's a fine balance, but essentially the message of how you're going to cultivate heaven upon earth this week: leave the conflicts behind, leave the war behind, leave the suffering behind, leave the person behind that caused you pain over and over again, leave the circle behind that caused you pain over and over again, leave the thought patterns behind that cause you pain over and over again, okay? Leave anything behind that is inflicting wounds and suffering upon you. And with that leaving behind, say, I now re-enter the waters of infinite creation. I now re-enter the waters of infinite creation, okay? It's kind of a mantra actually I'm giving you for this week. I now enter the waters of infinite creation, and really picture that universal womb of the mother of the Omega, okay? And that is an energy that wants you to flower and to feel joy and to feel love and to feel care ultimately, okay? Okay, moving right along, card number 3. Card number 3. How do you cultivate heaven upon earth this week? Card number 3. Ooh, the Magician reversed. Oh my gosh. Okay, look at that. Look at that trickster. The Magician is such a trickster. This Magician is wearing like a little, it's a diamond. It's covered in like diamonds, like geometrical forms, but it's a cheetah suit. And it really, and there's also a Sphinx here. So we've definitely got trickery and riddles. We've got the sword with the lightning, power, pointing down. What do we create on the earth with our power and with our vision? Now, this is really making me think of an I Ching hexagram that's about deep transformation. And there's one particular changing line that's about changing into a leopard, okay? And it's about you're going through all of this deep growth, shadow work, difficult change, difficult situations. How do you transform through them? Now, there's one line that says, I'm not going to quote it correctly, but I'll tell you the essence of the line. It is that you have faked your transformation. You've only changed your suit. You're wearing a cheetah suit, or it's a leopard suit or something like that. you've changed your fur, you've changed your markings, but you haven't changed what's within. You haven't changed what's within, okay? And then like the highest sort of outcome of that transformation is total transformation, where you have changed the within and the without, and you have changed now from a house cat into a leopard with strength and grace, okay? So with the Magician reversed for this week, you guys, it's really important to look at what kind of changes you're making, first of all, and to say, am I just making aesthetic changes? So a lot of people get caught these days in the cycle of manifestation, and manifestation really focuses these days on, what do I want on the outside? What kind of house do I want? What kind of car do I want? What kind of boyfriend do I want? Girlfriend do I want? Etc. Now those are all like aesthetic choices, and they're all like things about the outside world. And so sometimes what we do is we really hem ourselves in to an aesthetic dream that we have, and we create, and we're not thinking about the inside and how it feels. So then we have like a life that looks really cool, it looks like what we wanted, and then the inside ends up reflecting back the ingredients of that life we've created. So a lot of times we have shallow connections, or we have connections that are not able to be deeply understood and felt. So we have Magician reverse energy, where we are making changes like a costume change rather than a full deep transformation, okay? Like, think about an actor. Think about you being an actor on the stage of life, okay? A really good actor, they're able to channel a consciousness of whatever it is that they're acting. A bad actor just puts on a different outfit and is just their self. Like, they just seem like the same person, okay? You know these actors that kind of play the same role over and over again. They're not like bad, like they're necessary too, but to really be a prolific, profound actor in your own drama, it's important to change from the inside out. So that's your clearest message this week, is make your changes from the inside out. And when you're looking for something aesthetically in the 3D world that you want, go within and say, what makes me want this? What lack is within that I want, okay? Because ultimately, I want to remind you that we all have the ability to attain a liberated consciousness that will put you so deeply in the moment of the infinite and eternal that you want nothing. You want nothing. So it's important, we have to be in our ego consciousness, yes. So come back to that ego consciousness, which essentially I'm talking about heaven and hell. So your infinite divine self, or whatever you want to call it, higher self, creative intelligence, that's what's really aligned with heaven. Your ego self is aligned with hell. They're supposed to work together, or earth, you could call it earth, but earth and hell have a lot of similarities, if you haven't noticed. But that's because we've forgotten how to create heaven upon earth, okay? So we brought a lot of hell upon earth. So back to, essentially, to really change from the inside out, it's important to take a look at what you're wanting in the outside world, and why do you want that? Did somebody else tell you to want that? Is that going to make you happy? Or have you reached a space where you really understand that it's all just a game, this three-dimensional world of temporary illusion and experience? It's really just a game for us to play and learn in. Again, Leo energy, we're in Leo energy right now, so it is about playing with what you're given, okay? Also, though, side note with this one, you also want to be careful of who is in your life that is pretending to have made changes, okay? And so who's performing for you? Who's giving you a show to quiet you down, or to, quell your momentary desire, or to make things easy to avoid conflict with you, okay? Or are you doing this, okay? So ultimately, you want to look at those people, and you don't need to discard them necessarily, but you need to know if you're being fooled. So think about, what does somebody else want from you too? Think about the inside motivation of other people. What does this person want from me? And why are they telling me they've changed? Because there's really an element, mercurial element of change in this card, and definitely trickery, definitely trickery. So what can you do when you're presented with a facade of somebody that says they've changed or is acting differently, but they haven't really? They're just trying to behave for you, okay? The best thing to do in that case is to be aware of it and to not try and correct them, because you're dealing with an ego. You can't correct an ego, okay? That person's higher self that owns that ego, they have to correct it. And anything you say or do to try and correct somebody else's ego, that ego will start war with you, okay? Because that's what egos do. They like to create divisions. So all you do is you hold it in your mind. This person is giving me a show. I understand that. I'm just not going to react to their show. I'm going to see that they have more in them. I'm going to wait for them to come to me with who they really are. And until then, I'm not going to engage with them. I'm not going to give them the thing that they're looking for. I'm going to keep my distance and keep my peace until they come to me with a true evolution, which you'll be able to feel on every level, okay? So, create from within. Create your world from within. Go to the source. Go to the source. Do not be fooled by anyone else's costume, including your own, okay? All right. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for sharing your stories. I love them so much. Please continue to share how the cards affected you. It means so much to me. I'm available for readings and for healings. And for sound baths if you're in the Hudson Valley. And I will see you all next week, okay?